Hi, this is Julia Taylor, and this is my iNaturalist project. This fall I was in the honors section of our class, Our Vulnerable Planet, or Geography 227. We learned about global warming, biodiversity, story maps, and sustainability practices. For our final project, we had the whole semester to take 100 photos of wildlife around us. We were to take photos, identify the species, give the descriptions of the species, give the location, and add them to our class project on the iNaturalist app. I've compiled my observations in this story map. And then here's a map of Kentucky, and the three main cities that I observed in were Bowling Green, which is right there, Bardstown, which is near Louisville, and Frankfort, Kentucky. So for this story map, I've split it into 3 categories based off those cities. So the first one I did was Bardstown, which here is the map of my observations in Bardstown. So some of these kind of overlap the pointers too, so you can only see about 10 on there, but there were actually more than that. So here are them, including domesticated beagle and a domestic cat. Then I have all of them listed down here, and which ones are cultivated and which aren't. Alright, so moving on to Bowling Green, Kentucky, which, since I go to school in at Western, that's where the majority of my observations were. So the first one, here's a map of one region, which was right near the National Corvette Museum, and it was at Warren County Area Technology Center. And there, sorry about the glare, there was a spathiphyllum, and it's cultivated in a classroom at that school. Alright, and then also in Bowling Green, I went to Lost River Cave and saw an orb weaver, which this is a really low quality picture, but that's because the spider was moving so fast that I couldn't get a picture of it, other than that one right there. Okay. Then here's one region of campus, which this is near the top of the hill near Gordon Wilson Hall, and just up at the top, and Cherry would be over here. Okay. So this was the most interesting bug I saw, and it's called a leaf-footed bug. It's about like an inch long, like that. And I also saw maho, which is cultivated, and northern catalpa, which is also cultivated. Alright, and then next area of campus, this is by the Kentucky History Museum. And I saw quite a few things there, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about them. But there's a bumblebee, vascular plant, crevice alum root, oak leaf hydrangea, Greunke, sumacs, goutweed, columbines, rosemary, etc. Alright. Now the next area is by EST, where our class was, which would be right around here. So then I had several observations there as well, including the first one, which is a little brown bat, which is the actual name of the species. And then there were some more plants, cicada, and all of these I have whether they're cultivated or not. So like an example, a dandelion that's not cultivated because it's a weed. Yep. There's the rest of those, including some fungi called Trametes. Alright, and then after that, this one had quite a bit of observations. This is near my dorm, Bates Runner Hall, which is near Gatton Academy. So here are a lot, and I'll just talk about the more interesting ones that I saw. And then let me look through there. There's a yellow garden spider. It's kind of creepy. That was a green lacewing, which I work at the front desk of McLean Hall, and that one just happened to land on a cabinet. And it was really small. It was about that big. There's a hackberry emperor, a moth. That was a brown marmoret stink bug, which was right outside my window, as you can see by the little netting there. A western bumblebee landed on a can. These are some plants that my roommate has in our room. She has a lot of plants. Not the tree, obviously. There's some flowers, more plants from my roommate. This was a possum that just happened to be outside my dorm. You know, it's hard to get a really good picture of it since it's a wild possum. Black-eyed Susan, cucumber ladybug, kale. Okay. Now the next area of campus, this is around mass media and tape page and some over there near DSU. So, right. Mostly trees over here and a lot of cultivated plants, including a palm tree near DSU, which I find interesting. And our famous cherry blossoms at Western. Of course, that wouldn't when it was really in bloom, because that would be in the spring. A wheel bug, thing's kind of creepy looking. And it's a bit all. Quite a few different types of ladybugs were what I saw. Big beetle. Alright, the next section of campus. This was at the top of the hill, near Cherry. We got a rose, flowers, and plants. Let's go through those real fast. Again, you can see where they're cultivated and where they're not. Okay. So that about does it for Bowling Green. Now, I did go to Lexington for a day. So here's the map of that. It's right off Cambridge Drive in Lexington at a nursing home where my great aunt lives, and that was a peace lily. So got that mapped out. Alright, this project was interesting. It taught me new names of species and really helped me to pay attention to the wildlife around me. And thank you for exploring my story map with me.